Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen, from Rhode Island. Providence, Rhode Island, man. I remember Providence, Rhode Island. I remember Providence, Rhode Island, man. They were loud tonight. They were loud tonight on what I thought was a very decent Monday Night Raw. We actually got some sort of direction here. I like it. The Seth Riders. They were all over this show. They won matches. They felt like a group that, I don't know, is intimidating. I like it. Goldberg was there. Gunther was there. Evolution is this weekend. Saturday night's main event is this weekend. And we're going to talk about it all tonight at the Beer Garden. And when I get there on this Monday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see all that.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for July 7th, 2025. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. Monday Night Raw, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, from Providence, Rhode Island. I remember Providence, Rhode Island. Providence, Rhode Island's back in January of 2014. They weren't as loud as they were in 2014. January of 2014, it was Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt inside a steel cage. As Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, whatever you want to go and call him, was a prisoner to the Wyatt family. And Bryan Danielson shed that jumpsuit, that gray jumpsuit that he was in. And the yes movement was as hot as it ever has been in that moment. He had everybody in Providence, Rhode Island hanging on to every single movement that he made. And that was, whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't really matter because I interpret it the way that I interpret it. That was the moment that Vince and everybody knew there. That was the moment that changed the trajectory of WrestleMania that year and him winning the World Championship. One of the biggest moments in Monday Night Raw history was that steel cage match and that yes chant, those yes chants in Providence, Rhode Island, that will live on forever. I go back at least a couple of times a year and just sit here and relive that moment, man. It's just a great moment. It gives you chills every time you watch it. They were not that loud tonight, but Providence brought the heat. This was probably the best Monday Night Raw crowd since post-WrestleMania. And I thought that they were very lively tonight for almost everything on the show. So shout out to Providence, Rhode Island. If you were in attendance tonight and you were there physically in the arena, you guys did a hell of a job because some of the crowds that we've gotten across Monday night and Friday night have been fucking terrible. This week, WWE is oversaturating the market. We had Raw tonight. We got NXT tomorrow. We got SmackDown on Friday. We got Saturday night's main event. We got Great American Bash. And we got Evolution. WWE's got almost a full week of shows this week. I'm not going to watch every single show this week. I could tell you that right now. Nor do I care to watch some of the shows that they're putting on. I will not be watching Saturday night's main event live to see Gilberg, to see Bill Goldberg retire, finally. I will not be watching that live. I will be watching All In from Texas. I will not be watching the Great American Bash. Who would? If you look at the card, I don't know why anybody would tune into that show. It is a very busy week. It's a very oversaturated week. Most of the WWE shows taking place this weekend are taking place this weekend because AEW is holding All in Texas. Evolution is happening this weekend because AEW is running Globe Life Field for All in Texas. Saturday night's main event is happening this weekend because AEW is running Globe Life Field. And AEW All in Texas is happening on Saturday. WWE has shown their poker face this week. All of these shows are centered around one thing and one thing only, and that is counter-programming Tony Khan. Sometimes things have a weird way of working not in your favor. WWE has barely sold 1,000 tickets for the NXT show. WWE doesn't have 7,000 tickets sold for the Evolution show. And Saturday night's main event with Bill Goldberg retiring is doing what it should be doing for tickets sold for such an event for Bill Goldberg in the hometown of Atlanta. I wish WWE would not go and do the things that they do. I get that it's competition. And once you bother the two-headed dragon known as WWE, once you really stick those talons into Nick Khan and Ari Emanuel, you are forever an enemy. Tony Khan has made forever enemies. You talk about fight forever. You could sit there and chant fight forever for your favorite pro wrestlers across any promotion. It's going to be fight forever until AEW ceases to exist. Tony Khan against Nick Khan Ari Emanuel, and TKO. No matter what Tony Khan does, he will be counter-programmed. WWE thinks that they are taking and stealing away from AEW. I don't look at it that way, especially on a weekend like this. All WWE is doing is watering down their own product, and all WWE is doing is showing that AEW truly is competition to them. I know what I'll be watching. I know what's going to be the best show this weekend, and it's not going to be any of the WWE shows. I don't give a shit how many times I shit on AEW. Quality over quantity. They seemingly are going against what they should be doing. Triple H was always a quality over quantity guy. No more. No more. Corporate greed and pettiness towards AEW has blinded them this weekend, and it's fucking sad. Evolution doesn't feel like an important show. Saturday night's main event doesn't feel like an important show, and we really haven't gotten anything fucking concrete, and we're 4 weeks away from fucking SummerSlam. There's an oversaturation of the product right now. There are too many shows. Too many shows. I don't give a shit if you're a pro wrestling fan and you bleed pro wrestling. Too much of your favorite thing is too much. You should be taking everything in moderation. I could sit here and give you a fucking sea of analogies. But I won't do that. Because you guys know better. Evolution is a fucking sham. I said it from the day they started announcing matches. The only reason why this show's taking place on this weekend is because of All In. The women are putting on a PLE because of All In. WWE doesn't give a fuck about women's wrestling. WWE, they don't care about their roster that they gloat so much about. They're doing a show because AEW is doing a show, and they're looking to steal thunder away from AEW. Oh, but JD, it's happening on Sunday, not Saturday. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The three-headed fucking beast known as WWE this weekend, Saturday night's main event, NXT, Grande American Bash, and Evolution. None of which are going to steal anything away thunder-related to AEW All In. I wish that they would just do what they have to do and make sure that their product is good. Their pettiness and their greed has blinded them, and television has suffered. Creative has been fucking lazy, and an all-women's show, which we've only gotten one of since 2000, since the inception of 2018 show. You're using this as a reason to continue to batter AEW. I look at that as fucking sad, bro. I find that to be sad. Not here to talk about Evolution, though. We'll talk about Evolution on Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow, episode 102. We'll go over all of the preview and predictions and storylines going into all the big shows this weekend. It's going to be one busy fucking weekend. I don't know what I'm going to do. My head's going to explode, but I'll figure something out. As you guys know, I will be absolutely as live can be on Saturday afternoon after All In and Sunday after Evolution. Not covering NXT because the show sucks. And Saturday night's main event, I may actually watch after I get done streaming on Saturday and then go live Sunday afternoon. So I will keep you guys posted on that. But these shows are happening this weekend, and WWE has absolutely oversaturated their product because they have AEW on the mind 24/7. And believe it or not, Tony Khan has given some big league grown-up answers as to WWE counter-programming him this weekend. So good for him. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow. Tonight we'll talk Monday Night Raw. I want you guys to remember just a couple of weeks ago, I said right here on this very stream, a couple of Mondays ago, that Seth Rollins and his group of Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed do not feel like a group that is threatening Monday Night Raw in any capacity. I said to you on this very show that Seth Rollins, being the only mouthpiece, while Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed stand behind them, or stand behind him and Paul Heyman, like they're the fucking men in black, wearing black suits, black shades, and are nothing more than mutes, is not a good look. Tonight, WWE listened. I want to say that they listened. Finally, after weeks of nothing, the WWE finally listened and made some appropriate changes. Not only did Seth Rollins speak tonight, but Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed got some microphone time so that they can address the audience and let the audience know what they are going to do, who they are, instead of just standing around and being Seth Rollins' henchmen. Got Bron Breakker out there fucking barking every week, and Bronson Reed doesn't say a fucking word. Tonight they changed that. Bron Breakker addressed Sami Zayn, who he was wrestling tonight. Bronson Reed addressed Jey Uso, who he was wrestling tonight. And Seth Rollins couldn't do anything about it. Because this is a collective group. It's not Seth and his boys. It's Seth Rollins, it's Bron Breakker, and Bronson Reed, with Paul Heyman as the quote-unquote oracle of this group. They changed that tonight. So more of that tonight, please. I want to hear the other men speak. I want them to address their own concerns as a group. Not Rollins doing the talking for everybody else. They have not felt like a group that has been the all-powerful faction on Monday night. Everything is just incredibly middle of the road and incredibly safe. Tonight, they also changed that. This group was up and down the show. Bron Breakker wrestled Sami Zayn and destroyed Sami Zayn. Bronson Reed wrestled Jey Uso, he destroyed Jey Uso. Seth Rollins, he beat Penta. LA Knight had something to say because they're building towards a Saturday night's main event match this coming Saturday, which is fine. I don't really see Seth Rollins losing to LA Knight. That would be ridiculous. All three men wrestled. They all wrestled men who have been opposing them, and all three of them basically looked dominant. Bronson Reed didn't win, but Bronson Reed delivered 2 tsunamis to Jey Uso. That's more than a win in my book, even though he ended up on the losing end via disqualification. They finally felt like a faction that was there to take the show over. And that's what they've been missing. That's what they needed. Bron Breakker needed to speak. Bronson Reed needed to speak for themselves. They had microphones tonight. You can't sit here after weeks of nothing, weeks of feeling middle of the road, weeks of feeling like they are the Seth Riders, which is basically what you don't want to be, a version of the Death Riders in WWE. You don't want to be that. Tonight, they felt like a group that had direction, a group that had anger in their eyes, a group that made their mission statement a reality tonight. Take out everybody that is opposing us. If you are in our way, you will be taken out. I don't know how you could watch the weeks that we've seen of television, watch tonight, and then not like what they did tonight. So that gets 2 thumbs up to me. Or from me. For the show. Just based on that alone. No CM Punk tonight. I will go over a little bit more in depth as we get on with the review why they looked very dominant tonight. I do think that we will be getting a return of a certain chief very soon. That may happen as soon as Saturday, honestly. Because I don't see Roman Reigns not being at SummerSlam. We didn't get no CM Punk tonight. He was absent in Rhode Island. We'll go over the rest of the show. That also included Bill Goldberg. He made an appearance tonight on the go-home show before Saturday night's main event and delivered a right hand that knocked Gunther out so hard that I thought it was a legit shoot punch. Might have been. Knocked him clear on his ass. Set up for a spear, and Gunther retreated. 5 days before Saturday night's main event. We'll go over that. Ludwig Kaiser. He played the role of Grande Americano tonight. He actually wrestled in the mask. I don't know where they're going with this, being that Chad Gable is now off of television. But it just goes to show you the creative direction of WWE in 2025, where Ludwig Kaiser was a part of one of the most... I loved Imperium. I thought him and Giovanni Vinci were a fucking fantastic tag team. This guy went from being Gunther's right-hand man to a fucking lucha clown under a mask. Don't know where we went wrong with Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know where we're going with him under the mask. I'm slightly intrigued, but I'm also disappointed that WWE thinks so lowly of Ludwig Kaiser that the best that they got for him is him wrestling under a fucking mask. For a luchador that doesn't even exist. He's just a figment of everybody's imagination. We'll talk about that. And Karrion Kross got over big in Rhode Island tonight. He was all over this show as well. Took out Sami Zayn and basically got a we want Kross chant from Providence, Rhode Island. Makes you think that Karrion Kross secretly signed the new WWE contract. I hope that is the case. We'll go over everything tonight on Monday Night Raw. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for July 7th, 2025. Hopefully you guys had a great 4th of July holiday. Man, the weekend was long. The weekend was very long. I'm still recovering from the weekend. Not because I had many adult cold beverages. But the weather got to me. Being in the sun got to me. I was just physically drained, unmotivated, and tired today. I'm still feeling it as I sit here with you live. We'll get through it, though. Hopefully you guys had a great 4th of July weekend. I know everybody was back at work today, hopefully. It's tough to get readjusted when you got to go back to work after a long holiday weekend. But here we are. Like I said before, man, it's going to be a busy week. I'm live tonight, obviously. We got Tuesday Night Titans tomorrow night with the Solid Monster. Episode 102 will be live, going over all of the preview and predictions for everything that's happening this weekend. Saturday night's main event, All In and Evolution. Wednesday night, Jesse and I will be live for the Dynamite go-home show before All In with the Dynamite post. Thursday will be a day of rest. Friday we'll be back live for SmackDown because SmackDown's back to 2 hours and it is a live show this week. No tape shows. Saturday's All In. Saturday night is Saturday night's main event. I'll watch that after I stream All In and the post show. I may go live Sunday afternoon with Saturday night's main event. And then Sunday night, we got Evolution. And then Monday, we're back for Raw, Tuesday Night Titans, and Wednesday for Dynamite. It is a long stretch. So hopefully you guys are in it. Get in where you fit in. Says Jacob Fatu. So hopefully you guys stick around with me this weekend, man. The best coverage in the game right here on Off the Script. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all of the previous week's content. Everything you need is on the homepage. Go and check it out. If you guys want some more content on the second channel, we got some great highlights and some clips over there as well. JD from NY Shorts. That is linked in the description below. Hit that thumbs up tonight. We got 444 likes. That's a good start. The goal tonight is 800 likes. 800 likes is the goal tonight. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. It's a great way to help the stream out by basically doing very little. If you reach this point, leave a comment down below as well in the comment section. That also helps me out tremendously. We got some brand new merch out. Support us on Tuesday night. The Salamonster and JD, first ever design with our likeness on it together. Tuesday Night Titans, the best of the best of the best. Now available on bonfire.com. You guys can check the description for the link to the official storefront on Bonfire, or you could just click the store, which should be available right underneath the video player that you're watching. Go and get yours today on bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Tuesday Night Titans and Off the Script. And tonight's show is sponsored by Blue Chew, BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. All you guys need to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. Sidro, am I going to watch Superman on Thursday? I will not. I will not. I believe they have already politicized Superman, and I will not be watching Superman. I am not even the biggest Superman fan. I am much more of a Batman guy. You know what movie I really want to see? It's not coming out till next year, though. Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey. That's what I want to see. Got a great cast in that movie. Plus, Symphony X, one of my favorite bands, probably my second favorite band. They got an album called The Odyssey, based off the book, and they have a song that ends that album that's nearly 30 minutes long, which is fucking tremendous. So I'm very much into that type of vibe. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Other than that, I haven't really been to the movies outside of going to see Jurassic Park last week, which I highly enjoyed. I don't know when I will go again, but not really that big of a moviegoer, honestly. Fantastic Four? No. No, I will not be watching Fantastic Four. I'm not a big comic book movie. Nothing beats The Dark Knight. Nothing. Nothing will top The Dark Knight. Nothing tops this podcast either. We got a lot to get into. Monday night. You know, I'm watching Monday night and I'm talking to myself. WWE has really settled into this formulaic way that they produce the show. Now you get the intro, then now, forever. And then you get an overlook of the city that they're in. And then you see the people start coming into the venue earlier in the day. And they show everybody walking into the venue. And then we go into the arena. They got that stupid fucking song playing. And then we get the opening segment. Every single week, it's the same formulaic way that they produce the show. A little change every now and then goes a long way. I'd like for them to start changing some shit up. I'd like for them to start taking some risks. Do something a little different. They do the same thing every single week, and it's starting to get boring. That's just my take there. That's probably just a me thing. I don't really care if anybody agrees or disagrees with that. I'm just getting this sameness to the show. They do the same thing on Friday night as well. Seth Rollins, he opens the show, and everybody is singing his song. This group is still unnamed, by the way. They added Bron Breakker on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, and this group now sits here July 7th, still without a name. Do they have a name? Do they not have a name and they're just taking their time naming it because they want it to stick? They want it to be cool. They want it to be right. What is the name of this group? I don't know. We've gotten a couple of clues. We've got some possible hints along the way. Paul Heyman, not too long ago, mentioned the Vanguard. Now, I don't think that's the name of the group. I don't think that's what they're going for. But he did drop the Vanguard a couple of times, not too long ago. Tonight, he dropped the Empire. What type of empire? Is this Seth's empire? I don't know. You would think that this group has a name by now. For them to be taken very, very seriously, they need a fucking group. Otherwise, I'm just going to call them the Seth Riders. Because that's exactly what they are. They're out there every fucking week. They're doing the same thing every week. They interfere in people's matches every fucking week. It's no different than what's going on Wednesday. And what's going on Wednesday, you don't want to be what's going on Wednesday. Rollins is in the ring. Crowd is still singing along with him. Rollins asks for a microphone, and Bron Breakker takes the microphone away from Paul Heyman before he hands it to Seth Rollins. Bron Breakker's actually speaking here that he had a vision. He has a vision for a WWE without Sami Zayn because he doesn't like him. He doesn't like Sami Zayn. He doesn't like his stupid beard. He doesn't like his stupid theme song. He doesn't know why people love Sami Zayn. Why do you root for someone that has the athleticism of a dead fish and hangs on for dear life for the last 5 years? Tonight he's going to put an end to Sami Zayn. This is because Breakker was going to maul Sami Zayn and ensure he'd be looking up the lights when it's all said and done. Heyman takes the microphone away from Bron Breakker. He gives it to Rollins. And then all of a sudden, Rollins has the microphone. Before he could say anything, Bronson Reed wants the microphone. Reed said that Breakker was a tough act to follow. But so was he. He boasted about hitting Rollins last year with 6 consecutive tsunamis off the top rope. An act which made Rollins respect Reed enough to bring him into his faction. So a nice little, I would say, refresher on why Bronson Reed is there. Just in case you want to know why. Why did Rollins choose Reed? He let you know tonight just in case you forgot. Reed said that Jey Uso did not respect him like Seth Rollins respects him now. And that's going to change tonight because he's going to tsunami the respect into Yeet Man, just like he did with Seth Rollins. Rollins then grabbed the microphone. Fans started chanting for CM Punk, CM Punk. He refused to speak at this point and handed over the microphone to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman speaks. He said that the Empire would strike first tonight. He said that tonight Bron Breakker would strike first. Heyman then said that Roman Reigns. They name-dropped Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns didn't have the balls to come back and step up against Rollins' faction. They name-dropped Roman Reigns tonight specifically for one very clear reason. I'll get to that in a second. There's also big news that we haven't heard. That being Seth Rollins is donning the tights tonight. He's getting in the ring tonight in the main event against Penta. Heyman mocked Penta's stupid freaking hand signals and said that Rollins would leave him unable to do them ever again because he'd stomp him so hard later tonight in the main event. Rollins wanted to speak after Heyman spoke. Bron Breakker spoke. Bronson Reed spoke. Fans continued to chant for CM Punk, and Rollins welcomed everybody to Monday Night Rollins. Just for the simple fact that Rollins didn't speak here. I thought this was the best segment for this faction since they formed and what you see of them right now. I love the fact that Bron Breakker got a chance to speak. More of that, please. Instead of him fucking standing in the background barking, I'd like to see him speak words. He's a man that is vicious, and he's more than just a henchman. He's the future of the company. You don't want to pigeonhole him into being nothing more than a fucking dude who wears a suit, shades, and barks. That's awful. I would think that WWE thinks highly or more highly of Bron Breakker than that. That's just fucking awful. Bronson Reed, same thing. Guy is fucking legit. Probably one of the more legit guys that the company has seen in many, many, many years. He looks fierce. Yet he's standing behind Seth Rollins wearing a black suit, shades, and he's the guy who delivers a big splash off the top rope. That's it. Seth Rollins has his muscle. These guys are more than muscle. They are figures in this revolution that have a voice. Very much have a voice. I want to continue hearing their voices. Seth Rollins doesn't need to speak every single week. In fact, I don't want to hear Seth Rollins speak every single week. He's fucking boring when he speaks every single week because he doesn't say anything different from week to week. It's always the same thing. Leave the talking to Paul Heyman. When you have something important to say for whoever you are saying it to, then you shall speak. Other than that, let Paul Heyman do the fucking speaking. There's no greater storyteller in the business than Paul Heyman. Why is he here? Why is Paul Heyman here if you're not going to utilize one of the greatest voices in the history of the business? Why do you need to speak? Roman didn't speak. He spoke, but he didn't really speak. Heyman did a lot of the lifting. Roman spoke in sound bites. Rollins needs to speak in sound bites. He gets way too long-winded. The makeup of this group needs to change. I want to think 6 months ago, 12 months ago, I would have said WWE, they did it because they know better. I want to think that they made these changes tonight because people have been complaining about Bron Breakker, barking. Raggy. He's fucking barking. Next thing you know, he's going to be hopping out of the fucking mystery machine with Shaggy. Bronson Reed. These guys can speak. They don't need to be just background players. This is not the days of Evolution where Batista's standing there and he's just looking intimidating because he's nothing but fucking muscle. And he looks like he's going to snap you in fucking half just looking at you. These guys have a powerful voice. Use them. I want to say WWE made these changes because they're listening to the criticisms. Seeing the way the WWE product is right now, and it's ice fucking cold, and there's no heat to the majority of this shit, I don't really trust them as much as I did 12 months ago. So I don't even want to sit here and say that they listen to the criticism. Because according to Triple H, we don't know any better. Just enjoy the show. Just be a fan. Meanwhile, we're the ones paying for this fucking shit and showing up every fucking week. I want to say that they listened to the criticism. It is not easy today to say WWE listened. 12 months ago, yes. Today, no. They don't give a fuck. And this group, as you saw, threaded throughout this entire show, did what they needed to do. Targeted those who got in their way and eliminated those that got in their way. Tonight was the first time that they felt like a genuine threat to Monday night. And CM Punk wasn't even on the show. Because Punk is not really there for anything right now. Next week he'll be. This week it was about LA Knight. This week it was about Gunther and Goldberg. And no need to follow up. Next week he'll follow up. Now they mentioned Roman Reigns. They name-dropped Roman Reigns, and they did that very strategically. They name-dropped Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns is going to be doing one of two things at SummerSlam. He's either getting a one-on-one match with Seth Rollins, which is the preferred choice of me. I think Rollins and Reigns screams biggest party of the summer. That is a SummerSlam. It's a WrestleMania match. Let's really call it what it is. It's a WrestleMania-worthy match. I think that is my preferred choice for SummerSlam. Roman Reigns is not coming back to help Jacob Fatu against fucking Bloodline version 5. That is so beneath Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has nothing to do with any of that. He beat Solo in January. He got the Ulafala back. He don't give a fuck. He'll worry about that when things really hit the fan. He's coming back because the last time we saw him, Rollins pinned Roman at WrestleMania. You don't think Roman wants to get revenge on Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins took his wise man. You don't think Roman Reigns wants to get revenge on Seth Rollins? It is a natural progression. It is a natural progression. JD, you're wearing the same hat every stream. Good. I love this hat. Do you have a fucking problem? I got it dry cleaned last week. Do you have a fucking problem that I'm wearing my hat? Get him out. Get this clown out of the chat. There's a mod here. Sidro, get this guy out of the chat. Whatever his name is. BCB, I'm just saying, twin. Get him out. Roman Reigns clearly wants revenge on Seth Rollins. That's why they name-dropped him here. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns is my preferred choice. The other choice is a tag team match. And we don't initially get Punk and Gunther like we got teased last week. Now, my only question here is, when I tell you what I think is plan B, I don't know what Gunther does at SummerSlam. Roman versus Seth is option A. Option B is Roman and Punk teaming up against Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. I could see that taking place as well. Maybe they have people doing double duty. Maybe we get that as a match on night one. Could be the main event of night one. And then whatever happens there leads directly into night two. Meaning that Punk and Reigns team up together for the cause, take out Rollins and Bron Breakker. And then on night two, we get CM Punk versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I don't know if they're going to go and do that, because if this tag team match happens, I don't really know what Gunther does on night one, and I really don't want to see Gunther versus Jey Uso again. They cannot possibly think about doing that again. I can't. Gunther versus Sami, They wrote Sami off television right now. He hasn't really had much to do with Gunther. So why would they go and do that? He's not really in World Championship. I guess he's not really in the World Championship title picture. He's not. He won't be until the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season next year. I prefer Rollins and Reigns. I think Punk and Gunther is also a star SummerSlam match that could really get people talking and really be good with the proper story and proper build. I just don't know if that tag team match happens what Gunther is doing at SummerSlam. I don't. We won't know until Roman Reigns gets back to television. I really feel like Roman Reigns is due back any time now, and I do feel that it could happen on Saturday night. I think WWE is really kind of loading their cannon, and I really do feel like WWE is going to really kind of let this weekend happen with a couple of major surprises, a couple of major returns. Evolution will see some major returns. Saturday night's main event's going to see a major happening. I do think WWE's got a couple of tricks in their bag. And I do think Roman Reigns is going to show up on Saturday night in Atlanta. And I do think that Roman Reigns is going to stop Seth Rollins from cashing in on Gunther, being that they have already crossed paths on the road to Saturday night's main event. Now, that does not mean Goldberg is going to win the World Championship. I don't think that's going to happen. Nor should it. Imagine Goldberg beating Gunther for the World Championship only to have Seth Rollins cash in the briefcase. We don't need that. In no way, shape, or form should Bill Goldberg be pinning Gunther for the World Championship. But I do see Rollins cashing in, making that a triple threat match, and I do see Roman Reigns showing up and starting the road to SummerSlam with Seth Rollins. That's what I see happening. Or Punk stops Seth Rollins, and then we get something that builds to the tag team match happening on Monday, where Punk is getting beat up and Roman saves Punk on Monday. But I do think Roman Reigns is going to be back within the next 7 days to start building towards SummerSlam. That's why Roman Reigns was name dropped here specifically. He was just thrown in there, wanted you to know that people were thinking about him, and he's going to be back on television, which is the right move. It cannot truly be a SummerSlam without Roman Reigns there. I do think he's going to be factored into this Seth Riders group, and he's going to look for revenge and what happened at WrestleMania. The Judgment Day. They're in their clubhouse. Finn Balor is admiring all of the gold that currently sits within the Judgment Day on this big podium. He's got the Intercontinental title, the women's tag team titles, the men's world tag team titles. Raquel Rodriguez spotted Roxanne Perez putting a photo of Liv Morgan together with a bunch of flowers and candles, almost as if it was Liv Morgan's funeral and people were remembering Liv Morgan. Raquel Rodriguez was actually quite bothered by this. She's like, she's still alive, She's working really hard, and she's going to be back very, very soon. Rodriguez and Perez discussed how they can deal with Kairi Sane tonight, who is facing Roxanne in the opening match of Raw tonight. So they went to go get ready for that. Dominic Mysterio then looks over at Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and he thanked them for the get well soon cake. So McDonough and Finn Balor look at each other. Wasn't us. We didn't do that for you. So they leave. Dominic goes and looks at the cake a little bit closer, and he's seen it said get well soon from AJ on the cake. AJ Styles. He turns to see AJ Styles creeping around one of the barrels in the Judgment Day clubhouse. He peers around the corner, and he gives him the Meet the Parents, Robert De Niro look. Like, I see you. Circle of trust. I see you. Dominic pulls out his doctor's note. I got a note. I still got a note just in case you don't believe me. Which I don't really think Dominic is hurt. They're really just playing it up from a couple weeks ago. I don't think anybody was hurt to begin with. I don't think that neither one of them wanted to go to Saudi Arabia. So they're really playing it up. And that is the only time we've seen Dominic and AJ Styles tonight. That was it. Now, I don't know if this match is going to be saved for SummerSlam or if WWE is going to do it at Saturday Night's main event. Because right now, there are only 3 matches announced for Saturday Night's main event. Maybe they had a 4th coming from SmackDown. I don't know. But right now, we only have 3 matches announced for Saturday night. Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane. This was actually very good and got some decent heat from the Providence, Rhode Island crowd. I know a lot of people want to see Kairi start to get some momentum for herself in the women's division. I know a lot of people have been very hard on Kairi Sane because they are blaming her for the Zoe Stark injury and then Liv Morgan. Hasn't really been a pleasant time on social media if you are Kairi Sane. A lot of people throwing a bunch of negativity at her. This was probably the best showcase for Kairi since she's gotten back to WWE. Roxanne Perez is great. Really looking forward to seeing what Roxanne Perez does on the main roster, but this was good. And this is obviously, as you will see at the end of this match was a setup for what was to come at Evolution. Now, the Fatal 4-Way women's tag team title match at Evolution was made last week. Adam Pearce granted Roxanne Perez to be Raquel Rodriguez's partner because Finn Balor did not want the titles to go vacant. So he didn't want Raquel Rodriguez to be without the championship. He wanted to find her a partner and said that Roxanne Perez would be the best replacement for Liv at this time. Adam Pearce said, fine, I'll grant you what you want, but you got to show me that you can coexist as a team. Now, I thought that was the right move to make. It was the only logical move to make because she's been hanging around the Judgment Day for weeks now. Who else would it be? But Adam Pearce said that there will be 4 teams. 1 from Raw, 1 from SmackDown, and 1 from NXT. Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag team titles. On SmackDown, we got Charlotte Flair and Alexa. From NXT, we got Sol Ruca and Zarya. And tonight, this was the precursor to what the 4th team would be. Now, I have no problem with the 4th team. I didn't think that this was going to be the team, but I'm not complaining. It's much better than what I originally stated. I thought they were going to give it to Natalya and Maxine Dupree, but I'm sure both of them will be in the Battle Royal. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Kairi Sane, she is getting some momentum back. She blasted Perez with a sliding elbow in the corner. Perez avoided the insane elbow off the top rope and kicked Kairi Sane in the face. Perez headed up top with a springboard moonsault from the second rope, connected, and got a near fall. Perez dragged Sane and continued to target the injured arm and missed on a corner charge and got hit with a boot from Kairi. Perez blocked an Alabama slam attempt from Kairi and once again slammed her down on the injured arm. Perez set Kairi up on the top rope and got knocked down to the mat. Kairi connected with a diving forearm and then hits the Alabama slam. She then goes up top again and looks to finish things off with another attempt of the insane elbow. Raquel Rodriguez dragged Perez out of the ring. Kairi looks at Raquel Rodriguez on the outside and took her out with a dive to the outside, which is fucking stupid because she's not a part of the match. This let Roxanne take advantage because Kairi attacked Raquel. So, back in the ring, Roxanne is in control. She attempted pop rocks. Kairi luckily countered into a pin for the 1, 2, 3. So Kairi gets the leverage pin on Roxanne Perez, countering Pop Rocks, which is her version of the Code Red. And she beats one half of the tag team champions in Roxanne Perez. Post-match, we got Raquel and Roxanne in there. 2-on-1 attack on Kairi until Asuka runs down and saves Kairi Sane from a Judgment Day beatdown. Rodriguez clotheslined Asuka and had her set up for the Tejana Bomb, and Kairi made the save on Asuka. Sane and Asuka took Rodriguez out of the ring. Then they turned their attention to Perez as she hits the insane elbow on Roxanne Perez, and the Kabuki Warriors are together again tonight on Monday Night Raw. The match itself with Roxanne and Kairi was fine. Not going to sit here and tell you it was a bad match. It was a more than suitable TV match. But it was nothing more than a background to what the real story is here, and that is Kairi and Asuka getting back together. I know a lot of people on social media are going to be looking at the Kabuki Warriors as a thing. Like, I get that Kairi and Asuka are popular individually. I get that they're popular together. It's that kinship, that friendship, that tag team element that really makes them unique together. They work very well together. This may be somewhat of a hot take. I don't really think that it's much of a hot take because I've been very firm with my stance on women's tag team wrestling, especially for those tag team titles in WWE. The division is dead. I don't know why WWE continues to try and resuscitate this division. It is dead. The division is made up of everybody that is in the division right now, singles wrestlers in the division right now, parading around as tag teams. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte are not a tag team. They're not. They're two singles performers that are operating as a tag team because there's nothing else for them to do. Asuka and Kairi, they're not a tag team. They are two singles wrestlers parading around as a tag team, and that is it. Sol Ruka and Zarya, they're not a tag team. They're two ladies on NXT television that got nothing else to do, and they are together because. Natty and what's her name? Maxine, not a tag team. They're not. No matter what you want to say or think about them being a tag team, they are not. They're not even on fucking television. And when they are, nobody cares. B-Fab and Meat Shin are not a tag team. You can kind of say that the Secret Hervis is a tag team because that's been a thing since the beginning of the year. Piper Niven and Alba Fire. Fine. One team. One team. Everybody else is just thrown together, parading around as a team. This may be a hot take to some. It's not a hot take to me because my stance has been very firm for years on the tag team titles. Asuka and Kairi should not be a tag team after Evolution. You want to get this match out of the way? You wanted to really give it some extra star power by adding Asuka and Kairi, the Kabuki Warriors, to it? Fine. After Evolution, they should not be a tag team. I don't give a fuck how well they work together or what you think of them as the Kabuki Warriors. Asuka should be a single. Kairi should be a single. When you put them together, it doesn't mean that they are better off that way. When you put them together, that means there is less opportunity for them as Asuka and Kairi Sane. We should move on and put to bed the vision of tag team wrestling in WWE in this women's division. Asuka should be a single. Kairi should be a single. They need to get over individually. Kairi started to get over on her own, slowly but surely, and now you want to put her in a tag team with Asuka. I would like to see her stand on her own. I don't want to hide Asuka, who's now 40 years old, in a fucking tag team. She's been there and done that. How much longer do you think Asuka's going to be around? I want to see Asuka have a great final few years in WWE, not in a tag team. She's done that. There's no more to do there. Now, this match on Sunday night, Kabuki Warriors, the Judgment Day, Charlotte and Alexa, Sol Ruka and Zarya, could be a low-key match of the night if they really wanted to let these women go. I'm actually looking forward to it. I think all four women, especially Sol Ruka and Zarya, who a lot of people might not even know of, wait till you see them. This match could be a low-key match of the night on Sunday night. I know everybody's talking about Asuka's 43. 43 years old. Thank you, Chad. You want Asuka in a tag team at 43 years old? Sure. A lot of people are looking at this Io and Rhea match as like, oh my God, they're going to give the title to Rhea. That very well could happen. I don't want to sit and tell you it's not going to happen because I don't really know. But the probability of that is a lot higher for Sunday than it has been at any other point for Rhea Ripley this year. Io Sky's title reign has been fucking terrible. And you can thank Triple H for that. She's done nothing. The best thing about Io Sky's title reign was that match at WrestleMania against Rhea and Bianca that opened night 2. And you want to go and mention her match with Stephanie Vaquer on Monday night after WrestleMania. Those are the only two things that she has done of note during this title reign. Outside that, there hasn't been a fucking thing that Io Sky has done. And Triple H is to blame for that. I said it last week on Tuesday night. It almost felt like Triple H gave Io the win over Rhea, the win at WrestleMania, as a way to shut everybody up and give the fans what they wanted in regards to Io. And when we got Io as the champion, he didn't give a fuck about pushing her because he didn't have any fucking plans to push her from the very beginning. It was done as a way more to say, here you go, now shut the fuck up. And if that's the case, Triple H is completely fucking out to lunch. Another pro wrestling promoter that does what he thinks is best and fuck the fans. Io Sky is one of the best in-ring performers that this company has. She's one of the women that people want to see more of on Monday night. And you've withered her away into being as irrelevant as everybody else that you're currently not using. Where is she? Where is she? Why is her reign so poor? No title defenses. WWE had an easy excuse because a lot of the women for the month of May were in the Queen of the Ring tournament, which is great. Whose fault is that? That's your fault. That's Creative's fault. That's Triple H's fault. You should have had... Now, granted, Liv Morgan's injury derailed a lot of fucking plans. No doubt in my mind that Liv Morgan and Io Sky was the match for Saudi Arabia. No doubt about it. They were building to it. Liv got hurt. The plans for that got derailed, so they went with Raquel and Rhea instead of coming up with another challenger on the fly for Io that didn't make any sense. They went right to Raquel and Rhea. Fine. That would have been one more championship match for her title reign. Can't really blame it on that, and you can't really blame the Queen of the Ring tournament. It's all on Creative. What was she doing for the tail end of April? What was she doing for most of the month of May? Nothing. Nothing. The point I'm trying to make here is, I know a lot of people are thinking Rhea is going to win the championship. If it's up to me, I don't think Rhea wins the championship. If I'm booking this thing, I'm not giving the championship to Rhea. I'm not. I'm actually going to go and give the win to Io, and I'm going to have Asuka turn on Kairi Sane. The Kabuki Warriors should not be a thing. Asuka is a babyface. If you look at the Raw side of things, there are too many baby faces in the women's division. Io's a babyface. Rhea's a babyface. Stephanie's a babyface. Kairi's a babyface. We got Roxanne. We got Raquel. And we got Becky. Bayley. I don't know what she is nowadays. Lyra. I don't know what she is nowadays. It's all up in the air because they're all fighting over the Intercontinental title. Going into this, Bayley's a babyface. Lyra's a babyface. There are more baby faces than heels in the women's division. I'd actually have Kairi and Asuka split. Asuka turn on Kairi. And then Io, at the end of that match, I would have Asuka attack Io. Only for Rhea to get involved. And then we get either a triple threat match or we get a one-on-one match between babyface Io and heel Asuka. I'm turning Asuka heel. Too many baby faces on the Raw side. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm thinking about this tonight. I'm seeing all these baby faces and Becky, Roxanne's a heel. But Becky is the one and only true heel in that women's division. You're going to need more than one Becky Lynch to operate this women's division. Asuka would be a prime candidate to turn heel. I'd love to see it. I don't know how we get Io to win the champion or win the match and retain the championship. I don't know. Have Asuka turn on Io, have Asuka turn on Kairi, and we just get the train rolling into SummerSlam. Don't know how they would go about it. But Asuka turning heel is probably, to me, the best case in that women's division. Because like I said before, the Kabuki Warriors are fine for Sunday. After Sunday, I have zero interest in seeing the Kabuki Warriors together on a show that really doesn't offer many tag teams in the division. Why are you going to get these teams together to do what? There's only one other team, two other teams on Monday night, and one of them is not even on TV. Asuka and Kairi should be individual, separate. Kabuki Warriors, one night only. Asuka turn heel. That's the way I'm going. Jackie Redmond interviewed Sami Zayn about everything he's been going through as of late. Got the taped ribs. He got beat up by Cross last week. Tonight he's got Bron Breakker. Zayn says he's got too much on his plate and that he couldn't focus on his ribs or carrying Cross because he's got Bron Breakker to deal with later tonight. Sami walks away. Scarlett walks in, looked on as Sami walked away. Jackie Redmond asked Scarlett if there was anything she wanted to say, and she simply says no. No. She's just admiring Sami as he walks away. The New Day. They appeared during the commercial break, dressed in black clothing as if they were attending a funeral. They talked about how the Raw Tag Team division died last week because they lost the Tag Team Championships against the Judgment Day. The two said that the wrong will be righted, and when they find Adam Pearce later, they will demand their rematch for the Tag Team titles that they feel like they deserve. No. I don't want to see the New Day and the Tag Team titles again in the same segment. Don't. We've been there, done that, move on. Let's start fixing the tag team division before we start giving it back to the team that WWE also did nothing with creatively. Adam Pearce. He spoke to American Made regarding El Grande Americano competing tonight. Julius Creed said this was impossible because Chad Gable was still out injured. But I think it was Brutus. I think Brutus actually said that. He starts going off that. How could El Grande Americano be here? Chad Gable's not here. Julius is looking at him like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're not supposed to reveal who he is, you idiot. So Brutus was basically going on and on and on, and they all looked at him like, the fuck are you talking about, bro? Adam Pearce is like, What does Chad Gable's injury have to do with El Grande Americano? What are you trying to tell me? Ivy Nile said, never mind that. I'm here to talk to you about the Women's Battle Royal Evolution. I want to be in it. Adam Pearce said, all right, you're in. Just like that. Asuka and Kairi Sane walk in. They talk to Pearce, and they get added to the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships at Evolution. So they are the Raw team that completes the puzzle. Kabuki Warriors, the Judgment Day, Alexa and Charlotte, Sol Ruka and Zarya is your Fatal 4-Way. Nikki Bella. She announced that she would be in the Women's Battle Royal at Evolution, and she wants the championship opportunity at Clash in Paris. Nikki Bella is not getting the championship opportunity at Clash in Paris. I can tell you that right now. She may be back, but that match is going to Stephanie Vaquer. Absolutely. Stephanie's going to win that Battle Royal. No other woman should even be in discussion. Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker. Sami made his entrance for the match first. Karrion Kross all of a sudden attacked Sami from behind and smashed him in the midsection, his injured ribs, with a steel pipe. Referees, Adam Pearce, they got Kross to back off. He was about to really unload on Sami Zayn, and they just got there in the nick of time. Adam Pearce gets there, confronts Karrion Kross. He takes the steel pipe. He throws it away, and they all usher Karrion Kross to the back. Providence, Rhode Island, chanting, "We want Kross, we want Kross." Bron Breakker was just out in the opening promo saying that he's disgusted with the people who cheer and admire Sami Zayn. Yet on the same show, legitimately, 45 minutes after he cut the promo, they're chanting, "We want Kross," after he was beating the shit out of Sami Zayn. I guess you would call Providence, Rhode Island, fickle. This match still took place. Adam Pearce asked Sami Zayn if he wanted to continue. He urged him not to continue. Sami Zayn begged Adam Pearce to let him wrestle. I'm here. I'm good to go. The doctor at ringside had no choice but to let Sami Zayn go. He's clear to wrestle. And Sami Zayn and Bron Breakker, bell rings, underway. He ripped away at the tape around Sami Zayn's ribs. He drove both knees into the exposed ribs. Breakker lifted Zayn up and threw him across the ring with a suplex as he targeted him for a spear. Zayn intercepted Breakker's attempt with the clothesline, and that was enough to create at least some separation between Sami and Bron Breakker. Not enough, though. Zayn, starting to make a babyface comeback, headed up top for a big move off the top rope, and he was met with a spear from Bron Breakker, and he got speared coming down off the top rope. Sami Zayn immediately rolled to the outside. Bron Breakker was basically a shark in blood-filled water. Ran around the ring, hit the super spear, and speared Sami Zayn right in front of the commentary table. He rolled Sami back into the ring, pulled down the straps, and delivered a third spear. He bounced off the ropes 2 or 3 different times, got a full head of steam, and speared the shit out of Sami Zayn. 1, 2, 3, and Bron Breakker gets the victory. I don't mind Sami and Bron wrestling. I don't. But I would be lying to you if I said I was excited to see them again so soon. This match has been done to death since last year. This is like the fourth or fifth time we had them both in the ring competing together in the same match. Singles-wise. I'm not even talking about tag team-wise. Because he did team with Punk at the last Saturday night's main event against Bron Breakker and Seth Rollins. I don't want to see these two in the ring together for the rest of the year. Do I think Bron Breakker is going to play a role in Sami's ascent to the World Championship next year? I do. But as far as 2025 is concerned, I don't want to see them in the ring together. No more. This was more of an angle than it was a match. It was like, I would say 25% match and 75% angle. It's basically wrote Sami Zayn off the television until whenever they deem him ready to come back. I don't know what he's doing at SummerSlam. The only thing I can really point the finger to at SummerSlam for Sami Zayn is him and Karrion Kross in some sort of stipulation match. Not even so sure about that. But I don't want to see them in the ring together for the rest of the year. Like I said, this was more of an angle, so it did not overstay its welcome. It was quick. It was to the point. And this was the first of 3 matches for the Seth Riders, which really got them to a point where they finally felt like a threat on Monday night, targeting the people that have been targeting them and eliminating them one by one by one. Breakker started first with Sami Zayn and took him out of the picture. Good stuff. Adam Pearce. He's backstage with the War Raiders. He was then confronted by the New Day, who accused Adam Pearce of helping kill the tag team division. Because now the Judgment Day have the titles once again. And the last time we had the Judgment Day as tag team champions, they held the championships for 3 months without defending them. It was a rough time. The last reign we had with the Judgment Day. Hopefully that is not the same with this reign. But it's not really looking too promising, being that there really isn't a lot of teams I really care about to see on Monday night. That includes the New Day and the War Raiders. So the New Day could say that the division has been killed. The division's been dead for quite a long time. And there's nothing that Adam Pearce can do right now to fix it. Becky Lynch walked in, and she felt sympathetic towards the New Day, telling them, sorry for your loss. And then she said, you know, it was a great thing that you got rid of Big E. He was a scumbag. Okay. Becky Lynch is not a fan of Big E. It was a good idea to get rid of Big E. Becky Lynch. She was on her way out to the ring. She was here tonight to address the Evolution Intercontinental Championship triple threat that was made official tonight on Raw. It was actually made official unofficially last week, but today it was officially announced with a match graphic. It will be Becky Lynch defending the Intercontinental title against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley at Evolution. Becky Lynch is in the ring. She wanted an explanation on how 2 losers got a title match in a scenario where her chances of losing the Women's Intercontinental Championship are now far greater. She said that's why Adam Pearce put her in this match. She did not want to face Bayley or Lyra again. Becky Lynch claimed that Bayley and Lyra were working together to get this shot, that they are in cahoots, that there's some sort of conspiracy against Becky Lynch. But before she could elaborate any further, Bayley interrupted. Role model. Everybody's favorite role model is out there. Bayley power walks to the ring. She gets into the ring. And before she could say anything, Lyra Valkyria interrupts Bayley. She walked down to the ring And on the way to the ring, she shoulder bumped Bayley. Lyra gets in Becky's face and said that the title was wrapped around a bucket full of crazy, she says. The title is wrapped around a bucket full of crazy, and it was time that she takes it back. Bayley said she could have been the Women's Intercontinental Champion already if it wasn't for Lyra interfering in her match. This was 2 weeks ago. Bayley said that if she learned anything from WrestleMania, it's that she didn't need friendships, she didn't need heartbreak, but she did need the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra said that Bayley was just as bad as Becky because of what she just admitted. And she was out to rescue the Women's Intercontinental Championship from two massive disappointments at Evolution 2. Bayley talked about how she watched Lyra from all of her moments of glory, watched from the front row in January when she won the Intercontinental Championship. She watched, and that seeing her raise Becky Lynch's hand at Backlash made Bayley, or at, what was it, Money in the Bank? Made Bayley see her as a little bitch. Lyra took exception and tried to punch Bayley. Bayley ducked, and Lyra ended up hitting Becky Lynch and knocking Becky Lynch out. We got a big brawl happening with Lyra and Bayley. Becky Lynch was hit with a Nightwing. Bayley was hit with a Nightwing. Lyra walked over at Becky Lynch, who was down, mocked raising her hand, and said this would be the last time her hand would be raised because I'm taking back my Intercontinental Championship. So Bayley's upset that Lyra raised Becky's hand at Money in the Bank, called her a bitch. We got a brawl here that ended with Lyra standing tall. Now, before I get that, or get to that, honestly, Becky's fine. Bayley's fine. This was not Lyra's best night on the microphone. Lyra speaks in a way, and she showed signs of promise in the feud that we've gotten with her and Becky one-on-one. Going into Backlash, going into Money in the Bank, there has been moments of, all right, Lyra is starting to develop a personality, and Lyra is starting to get an anger problem, and she's showing a little bit of that charisma. This was not a good night for Lyra. It wasn't. Lyra sounded like she wasn't angry. She sounded very forced. She sounded like she was struggling. It almost sounded like she got sent out there and recited a promo that was written for her 5 minutes ago. I don't believe a fucking word out of Lyra's mouth. I don't. Now, I didn't have a problem with her and Becky for the two matches that they had at Backlash and Money in the Bank. Tonight, I had a problem with it. I just don't believe Lyra against Bayley and Becky. And that's a problem. You want Lyra to be the next Becky Lynch. You want Lyra to be a part of the big girls club on Monday night. And she's out here and she can't stand toe-to-toe with Bayley and Becky on the microphone. You want one clear, disparaging reason why she's not ready yet. Just look at the promo work. Just look at the promo work. She's not at that level yet. Bayley and Becky owned her. Just by the sheer cadence, just by the sound of their voice, the tone of their voice, the inflection in their voice. Lyra had none of that. So to me, I would not be putting the belt so quickly on Lyra. In fact, I don't think Becky's losing the championship on Sunday. I don't. No reason for her to. Becky is not ready to drop that championship. And it would be a mistake if she does. Now, I don't know what they do going into SummerSlam, but I don't think Becky's losing that championship on Sunday night. Oh, my goodness, man. We got a $100 super chat from my guy, Havili. Oh, my goodness. That is his second bomb tonight. This guy dropped 200 in the chat. Havili says, what's up, JD? Shout out from Brisbane, Australia. How you doing today? It is Tuesday, the 8th of July, 2025. Havili, if you want an honest answer from me, brother, I'm not doing too good right now. I'm very tired. I am exhausted from the weekend that was. I have not recovered. And I very much want to be doing nothing. I found today to be one of those days where it was just very difficult to find any sort of motivation at all. I did not work out. I did not really do much of anything. I did very minimal work. I set the podcast up for tonight. Took some notes for TNT tomorrow on what me and Jason are talking about. That's it. I put Dr. Disrespect on the big screen TV in the living room. I fell asleep this afternoon, took a nice 1 hour nap. That's it. Made myself some dinner, watched Raw, and here I am. That's my day, brother. Shout out to my guy, Havili, man. He's always showing up big in the chat. Always showing up big. Another round of applause for Havili. So, yes, IC title on the line. Becky, Lyra, Bayley. I think the match is going to be great on Sunday night. The matches that we got with Becky and Lyra have been good. I think Bayley getting thrown in there is really going to give it an extra level to what we've already seen, and I'm looking forward to it. The Evolution card looks really strong. It does. There's a lot to like about that Evolution card. I just don't like the way that everything's come together in 10 days. And I don't like the way that WWE's parading around with this show, thinking like it's some big fucking deal when they haven't really made it into a big deal. And the only reason why it's taking place this weekend is because AEW All in Texas. Not because they're celebrating women's wrestling, not because they're celebrating the great talent that they have in the women's division. They're celebrating AEW All in Texas. That's what they're celebrating. Everything feels forced. Everything feels like it's just a petty move by WWE, and they're using their women's roster to throw them out there as counter-programming for another big show that's happening that weekend. And when the ticket sales bomb and the show doesn't really generate a lot of interest, the WWE will be quick to blame the women and not themselves. Just like everything else. The women will get the blame for the show failing. And that sucks. Backstage, Seth Rollins and his Seth Riders strategize their next move tonight. Paul Heyman walks in, reveal that Sami Zayn would be out of action indefinitely. Everybody smiled, and then Seth turns his attention to Bronson Reed. He tells Bronson Reed, Sami may be out, but Jey Uso looks to be in good health. Bronson Reed promised him that after tonight, he would not be in good health. Yeet. Jey Uso and Bronson Reed. This again, not so much of an actual competitive wrestling match. 25% match, 75% angle. It wasn't about the match. It was about the Seth Riders. It's not really their name. I'm just kind of filling in the blanks because that's exactly what they are. It's about the Seth Riders being a dominant group, finally. Jey started quick on the offense. took out Reed, brought him to the corner with a big kick, Irish whip, countered by Reed, crushed Uso. Uso dodged a senton from Reed, kept up on the attack with some punches and some kicks. He sent Bronson Reed to the outside. Uso hits a suicide dive, sent Reed over the announce table. Uso cleared the commentary table. Bronson Reed, quick to recover. Super kick again rocks Reed by Uso. And this caused Reed to take a seat in one of the commentary chairs. Jey Uso hits another super kick. Inside the ring, Uso runs the ropes, looks for another suicide dive. Bronson Reed takes the announcer chair and throws it at Jey Uso as he's about to dive through the ropes for another suicide dive, and the referee calls for a disqualification. At this point, Bronson Reed destroys Jey Uso. 2 huge tsunamis. And luckily for Uso, that was it. Adam Pearce and all the officials backstage, agents, run out and quickly put a stop to Bronson Reed's destruction. So Bron Breakker destroyed Sami Zayn. And this had a lot to do with Adam Pearce telling Sami Zayn, don't do it, don't do it. Sami Zayn said, no, I'm here, I'm doing it. So basically, he caused his own downfall. Bron Breakker took out Sami. Bronson Reed took out Jey Uso. 2 of the 3 guys here on Monday night that have been a thorn in the Seth Riders' side have been taken out. And just like the Bron Breakker match, 25% of it was an actual pro wrestling match. 75% of it was more of an angle. Same thing here with Bronson Reed and Jey Uso. It's all about destruction. It's all about taking them out. It's exactly what they did. Got a vignette with LA Knight speaking on Seth Rollins this Saturday. It will be LA Knight going up against Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event. I do not see Seth Rollins losing to LA Knight. I don't. Imagine the leader of the group losing. That would be ridiculous. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, Seth Rollins could take a loss. He's Mr. Money in the Bank, JD from NY 206. No. How lame would it look? You are the leader of the group and you lose to LA Knight. Let's try and change the narrative that was old in the old administration. Vince, how many times would Vince take a Money in the Bank briefcase holder and have them lose again and again and again and again, all because he deems them Mr. Money in the Bank? Oh, they got a contract for the World Championship. They could take a loss. No. No. Rollins needs to win Saturday. I know the LA Knight fans might have a fucking stroke, but LA Knight's going to be fine. The Seth Riders will get involved, and there'll be more interference. It's almost as if Tony Khan's booking the fucking show. Can't have the leader of a new faction trying to take over Monday Night Raw losing. It's fucking ridiculous. Michael Cole, he and Corey Graves toss it over to a video package for the Rhea Ripley and Io Sky Women's Championship match at Evolution, which will more than likely main event the show. The underlying theme of this video package was Rhea Ripley's inability to beat Io Sky. Now, I am very much split 50-50 on this. I am split on this. Rhea could win the championship, upset everybody. What good does that do? What does she do at SummerSlam? Do we get Rhea Io again at SummerSlam? Do we get Rhea Asuka at SummerSlam? I don't know. Rhea could certainly win the championship. It will certainly upset a lot of people in the IWC. Not that anybody should give a fuck what these weird people have to say in regards to Rhea Ripley. The Rhea Ripley hate is fucking weird. It's really weird. I am going Io. I am. I'm going Asuka turning heel. I'm going Asuka, Rhea, and Io at SummerSlam. That's what I'm doing. I think that's the direction that they're going. Now, another holdup here is, we talked about this on Tuesday, and I raised the question to Solomonster. Does WWE have Rhea walk in to Crown Jewel as the Women's World Champion? Crown Jewel happening October in Perth, Australia. Last time WWE was in Perth, Rhea Ripley main evented that show, defending the Women's Championship against Nia Jax. Does WWE have Rhea Ripley walk into Perth as the Women's Champion? Or does WWE hold off on Rhea winning the championship until she wins it there? I don't know. There's a lot of what ifs around the Women's Championship right now. The winner of this Battle Royal gets a shot at the Women's Championship, I guess depending on whichever brand you're on, at Clash in Paris. Does WWE have Stephanie Vaquer win the Battle Royal and then challenge for the championship at Clash in Paris? Do we go Stephanie Io, or do we go Stephanie and Rhea in Paris? Could be a nice first match in a series of matches that takes place over the next 6 to 9 months. I don't know. Stephanie doesn't have to win the championship right away. Why would you put the championship on her right away? I figured Rhea would be the champion before we drop the championship to Stephanie. I think that's the proper passing of the torch there. There's a lot of questionable decisions going into the Women's Championship. I am split down the middle. I'd love to see Io still hold the championship, just because the fucking reign that she's gotten has been awful. She deserves a little bit more. She deserves a little bit better. And I do think that a lot of people right now are uttering that same feeling. Taking the belt off of Io on Sunday would be blatant, and it would upset a lot of people. And Triple H cannot afford to lose more fans' trust. So if he wants to maintain some good standing, maybe Io should win the match on Sunday and retain the championship. And then whatever we get at SummerSlam is whatever we get. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm going Io. I could be dead wrong. But I do think that something will happen there, and I do think that we get an Asuka heel turn. I do. I think we're going to get an Asuka heel turn. I think Rhea, Asuka, and Io is going to be your women's championship match at SummerSlam. And I do think that's the triple threat that they're thinking about. Rhea may win the championship there. And then we get Rhea versus Stephanie at Clash in Paris. Because at Crown Jewel, it's going to be in Perth. It's not going to be a match that anybody gives a fuck about. It's probably going to be champion versus champion, just like we got last year. So whoever the champion is on SmackDown is going to wrestle the champion on Raw. So it could be Rhea versus Tiffany. It could be Rhea versus Jade. It could be Rhea versus Naomi. It's going to be champion versus champion again, as they have those Crown Jewel championships that they created and need to do something with. So I don't know. I don't know what the whole deal is there. Which eventually, I do think before we get there, we're also going to get Cody and Seth as well. Last year, we got Cody and Gunther. So again, these shows that we have coming up, Clash in Paris and then Crown Jewel in Perth, a lot of it is going to hinder on what WWE wants their creative to be and how Rhea Ripley's going to factor into these shows. But I could see WWE doing Io versus Stephanie. I could see WWE doing Rhea versus Stephanie. Whichever way they want to go. I mean, take your choice. Any one of those matches is going to be great. But I'm going Io on Sunday, and I'm going Rhea eventually walking out of SummerSlam with the Women's Championship. I'm predicting an Asuka heel turn. I am. Just like I said, there's just too many baby faces at the top of the Monday Night Raw women's division. Now, Rhea is not turning heel. Anybody that thinks Rhea is turning heel is stupid. Rhea is the most over woman in the entire industry. They are not turning Rhea a heel. You as a pro wrestling promoter / booker would have to be the biggest fucking idiot to choose Asuka over Rhea. Honestly. Or Rhea over Asuka to turn heel. Rhea is not turning heel. I would 1,000 times over go Asuka to turn heel over a Rhea. Why would you do that? So stupid. Some of you don't think. You don't. Ludwig Kaiser, excuse me, El Grande Americano versus Dragon Lee. This actually was a lot longer than most of the matches on the show, to be quite honest with you. This wasn't bad. And I got to give Kaiser some credit. He wrestled as good as he could in the mask as Grande Americano. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Grande got Dragon Lee, who's nothing more than a loser on this show, by the way. It's not his fault. It's the way WWE and Triple H books him. Grande got Lee with a nice arm drag. Did a monkey flip. Dragon Lee saw an opening, kicked him. Grande intercepted another kick to the face as he continued to attack by throwing Lee over to the timekeeper's area, which looked fucking ridiculous. And we go into a commercial break. Action resumes with Grande Americano and Dragon Lee fighting on the top rope. Dragon Lee fought El Grande off. Hits a sit-out power bomb with a near fall. Americano was down. Lee tried to rip away at the mask to unmask him. Dragon Lee took advantage with a big kick, which sent El Grande over the top rope. Dragon Lee followed with a running drop kick. El Grande comes back, chopped Lee, connected with a springboard, blockbuster for a near fall. Dragon Lee fought out of El Grande Americano, having him trapped in the Tree of Woe position. Double stomp on El Grande. Lee took flight with a dive to the outside. Americano got back into the ring, and he looked like he slipped the metal plate in his mask, just like Chad Gable used to do. And he hit Dragon Lee with a steel plate-assisted flying headbutt for the 1, 2, 3. I enjoy the El Grande Americano character. I just find it to be creative malpractice that you have someone who could be a viable heel for the Intercontinental Championship, for the United States Championship. Like, you split him away from Gunther to be his own man. And he was challenging Sheamus, and he was wrestling Pete Dunne, and he was making a play for the Intercontinental Championship, potentially. Only to be taken off television, not have a WrestleMania role, do nothing all season up until 3 weeks ago, where he's creeping around and he's following American Made, and now come this week, he's wrestling under the mask. Chad Gable's out. Now he is the new El Grande Americano. You mean to tell me that this was the long-term vision for Ludwig Kaiser? Breaking up Imperium, firing his partner, splitting him away from Gunther. This was the long-term plan. How could you look at the creative team that runs WWE now? How could you look at Triple H and have the same amount of trust in Triple H as you had 12 months ago? Don't you think that's fucking ridiculous? Why can't he be his own star? Why can't he grow his own star? Why does he got to be hidden away under a mask, playing a character that is for someone else? I don't understand it. This show is about creating characters and giving each star an individual opportunity to show what they can do, not hide someone away under a fucking mask. Kaiser is good enough to be in the same league as Sheamus and Rusev and guys like that, battling it out, having bangers. Yet you got him now as a fucking German wrestler operating as a Mexican luchador, and he's a clown. Thank you. Ridiculous. Karrion Kross. He was interviewed and got a big reaction from the Providence, Rhode Island crowd chanting, "We want Kross, we want Kross." Kross said that every time Sami shows up, every week, he's going to blast him with a steel pipe. All he wanted for Zayn was to say, Kross told the truth. And if he didn't, he continued to make Sami Zayn suffer. Looks like we got Sami Zayn's SummerSlam match, huh? Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. SummerSlam. Some sort of stipulation. Goldberg. Goldberg had an unannounced, unadvertised appearance tonight. Gunther is out there. He wanted to address Goldberg in Saturday night's World Championship match. He says he's going to defend his title this Saturday against Goldberg. And for the last 2 weeks, he's been verbally abusing Goldberg in the ring on the microphone. And Goldberg has done nothing about it. That meant Gunther can only assume that Goldberg was afraid of him and that the pressure is on Goldberg. And he was suddenly interrupted by a car driving into the arena. On the Titantron, we saw Goldberg step out of one of his muscle cars and immediately make a beeline for the ring. Goldberg walked through Gorilla. He walked through the curtain, through his fireworks, down the aisle, and he met Gunther face to face in the ring. He wanted to fight him right here tonight. Goldberg dared Gunther to hit him. You've been talking a lot of shit the last 2 weeks. Now I'm here. Say it to my face. Do something about it. Opened up his chin, allowing Gunther to hit him. All of a sudden, Gunther tried to punch Goldberg. And Goldberg knocked Gunther down with a straight right hand. Gunther sold the effect of the punch, rolled away. Goldberg set up for a spear in the corner, and Gunther rolls away and out of the ring. Bill Goldberg was blown up by throwing one right hand to Gunther tonight. The guy was blown up as soon as he got out of his Mustang. I think it was a Mustang, right? What kind of car did he get out of? Corvette or a Mustang? I don't know what the fuck he got out. I wasn't really even paying attention. I was just fucking disappointed to even see him. More than I have to. Got out of his muscle car. He slammed the car door. He was blown up walking through Gorilla. He walked to the ring. He threw a punch. And he blew himself up out of gas. All brakes, no gas is Goldberg. Blown up. This match is taking place. There's no sense in complaining about it. It's taking place on Saturday. We can only hope that it goes the 3 minutes that Gunther has promised and that Goldberg is officially retired. Or was a Camaro. He showed up in a Camaro. I dislike him even more now. You would think that he would show up in a fucking Mustang. Listen, the match, Goldberg got a great reaction. Rhode Island showered Goldberg with Goldberg chants, and this got over big. This was fine. I'm merely just making fun of the fact that Goldberg can't even fucking walk to the ring without breathing heavily. He's blown up. This match cannot exceed, I know some people have said 5 minutes. I wouldn't even go past 4 minutes. 3 minutes max. That's it. No commercial breaks, in and out, goodbye. You can go back home and go into Goldberg's garage and fucking work on your muscle cars, bro. Goodbye. Nobody wants to see Goldberg in the big 2025. I don't even know why the fuck he's getting a championship match. Everybody's getting a championship match nowadays. The fuck did he do? I don't know what we get on Saturday. I think I'm pretty confident in that Goldberg is not beating Gunther for the world championship. That would be on level, if not worse, than Goldberg burying Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, in Saudi Arabia. I cannot see that happening, nor should it happen. If you are a creative writer and you are thinking that, or throw that option out there to the rest of your team, you should be fired on the spot immediately. I don't even know how you have a job in creative writing at that point. No. The last thing anybody wants to see is Goldberg beating Gunther for the world title. Gunther wins. Seth Rollins tries to cash in, is stopped by either CM Punk or Roman Reigns. Whichever one shows up on Saturday, the other will show up on Monday. So if Reigns shows up on Saturday, Punk is going to show up on Monday, and we'll probably get the tag team match with Punk and Reigns on the same team. The Mega Powers. Can they coexist? Or maybe Reigns shows up on Saturday. Maybe that's the ace in the hole. Maybe that's the trick in their bag for Saturday. How do we take away from All In Texas? I know what we'll do. We'll send Roman Reigns out there for the first time since WrestleMania. I could see it. Or maybe they just have Rollins walk out as the world champion, and that's the big hoorah for Saturday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. 3 scenarios. One of them is going to happen. Or Gunther just beats Goldberg clean. That would be pretty fucking boring. As long as Gunther walks out as the world champion, I don't give a fuck what the ending is. I don't. Saturday night's main event, on top of Gunther and Goldberg for the World Heavyweight Championship, only has 3 matches announced. I thought that they might add Dominic versus AJ Styles to this show, but they're running with the story that Dominic is still hurt and running around with a doctor's note. LA Knight, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton, and then Gunther versus Goldberg in your main event. I don't know what else they could add. Maybe they add another match from Friday Night SmackDown. They got 2 Raw matches and 2 SmackDown matches. Usually these shows go off with 4 matches. Sometimes WWE's done 5 matches. I don't really see any women's matches taking place, being that everything the ladies are doing is happening on Sunday. So why would they add a women's match to this show when they can just put everybody on Sunday's show? And if the match is coming from Friday Night SmackDown, I don't even know what's happening on that show that would even be deemed worthy enough for Saturday night's main event. Do we get Priest versus Aleister Black? Do we get something with the tag teams? I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I'm assuming this Friday we'll get a 4th match added to Saturday night's main event. Evolution. Julia. I could see Julia defending the title on Saturday. It's amazing Julia is not even on the Evolution card. Julia versus who? Who is Julia wrestling? Listen, I won't even bother. I won't even bother. Who are you going to put Julia in the ring? Chelsea Green? Spare me. Don't even bother. Give extra time to McIntyre and Orton. Give extra time to Rollins and LA Knight. Have them go 20 minutes, 25 minutes. At that point, if you want to fucking give me 3 commercial breaks, at least, in a 25-minute match, it's suitable. I would much rather them give time to what's there now instead of booking Julia in a match against somebody that legitimately nobody is going to give a fuck about. And more than likely have the match be awful. No. I don't want to see that. Put Julia in the Battle Royal and have her and Stephanie be the last 2. Evolution, speaking of the card. Tiffany Stratton defends the Women's Championship against Trish Stratus. J.C. Jane defends the NXT Women's Championship against Jordan Grace. Women's IC title, triple threat, Becky, Bayley, Lyra. Women's World Championship, Io versus Rhea Ripley. Women's Tag Team, Fatal 4-Way. Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez defends against Alexa and Charlotte. Asuka, Kairi, Zarya, and Sol Ruka. Naomi versus Jade Cargill in a no DQ match. And the Evolution Battle Royal. Winner gets a championship match at Clash in Paris at the end of August. It's a solid show. Too bad it came together in 10 days, and too bad the only reason why it's happening is because AEW All in Texas. Main event. Penta. He went one-on-one with Seth Rollins. This was very good. Penta is in a main event. For all the he's buried crowd. Is he? He's in the main event on Monday Night Raw on Netflix against Seth Rollins. There was a spot here in the beginning of the match where Penta tried to chop Rollins. Rollins dodged, which caused Penta to hit the LED ring post, and he injured his hand. Penta comes back, diving Hurricane Rana on Rollins. As Penta got back in the ring, Rollins took advantage with some stomps. Couldn't maintain the advantage. Penta starts fighting back. Rollins attempted a pedigree, but Penta countered and sent Rollins to the outside with a clothesline. Penta followed up with a tope con hero. And Rollins is down as we go into the last commercial break of the night. Back from the break. Rollins is bleeding above his eye. He uses the back of Penta's mask to wipe the blood from his eye. He's in control. Penta fights out. And he hits a sling blade. He followed up with a drop kick on Rollins in the corner. Penta looked for the Penta driver, but Rollins countered and escaped. Rollins couldn't escape a backstabber from Penta. Both men are down. Rollins, he's back up. Penta jumps off the ropes, and Rollins catches Penta on his shoulders and muscles Penta up, deadlifting him and dropping him with a gut buster. Rollins goes up top. He mocks Penta's hand gestures, hits a frog splash. He only gets a 2 count. Rollins had Penta in position for the stomp. Couldn't connect on it. Rollins was placed on the top rope by Penta. They begin fighting it out on top for position. Penta landed on the apron, connected with a Hurricane Rana. In the ring, Penta managed to hit the Penta driver on Rollins. Only a 2 count. Penta placed Rollins in position for the sacrifice arm breaker. But Seth Rollins escaped, hits a buckle bomb on Penta. Penta recovers, hits a Mexican destroyer. He went for a cover right away. Rollins grabbed the bottom rope to break the pinfall. Penta dragged Rollins to the middle of the ring. Rollins recovered and went low with a headbutt. This gave Rollins an opening for the stomp for the 1, 2, 3. So the Seth Riders did not show up during the match, but Rollins wins via nefarious means with a low blow to the belt, or below the belt, and a stomp to Penta. After the match, Paul Heyman's on his cell phone calling someone to get down here now, which was Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker. They were out there looking to have a 3-on-1 advantage over Penta. LA Knight snuck into the ring, blindsided Rollins with a BFT as Breakker and Bronson Reed were walking very slowly to the ring. LA Knight was in and out quickly. BFT. As soon as he nailed it, he jumped the barricade, ran into the crowd, and that was enough for LA Knight. And he's basically saying that he's got his ass at Saturday night's main event with everybody saying LA Knight, yeah. And that's the way Monday Night Raw went off the air. Very good match between Penta and Rollins. I mean, you could sit there and say Rollins is not the guy. Rollins is not a leader of a faction. Rollins is not this. Rollins is not that. Rollins is a great pro wrestler. Rollins is a great pro wrestler, and he has great pro wrestling matches. He is going to be your next world heavyweight champion. Get used to it. I just hope the group, from this point forward, takes what they did tonight and builds on it. Tonight was the first time that I really felt like this group was a threat to Monday night, because they've been nothing but talk, and it's been the same rinse and repeat fucking garbage that every other faction does. We beat down the baby faces, we interfere, we cause match outcomes, disqualification. Tonight was the first night where they all solidly said what they were going to do, and it all happened. They took out Sami, they took out Yeet Man, and Rollins beat Penta. Now, LA Knight got the baby faces, a little momentum going into Saturday night's main event because he got the cheap shot on Rollins with the BFT. But that doesn't mean LA Knight's going to end up beating Rollins at Saturday night's main event. Rollins is going to win. Rollins has to win. You LA Knight fanatics, I know, are going to have a social media meltdown. Rollins is going to win. Rollins has to win. He's the leader of a faction. The leader of a faction cannot lose while his boys win. That doesn't really make a great faction. Solid main event. The group really looked, I wouldn't say awesome, but they looked better than they have in several weeks on this show. Roman Reigns' name was teased. We could see him Saturday. We could see him Monday. No Punk. I'm sure we'll see him either Saturday or Monday. And then finally, after this week, we can finally start building towards SummerSlam. I want to see some more SummerSlam matches take shape. We got 2 nights of a SummerSlam, and the only things that we have announced for the show are because of what happened with the Queen and King of the Ring. Outside that, there's nothing else announced. You would think that with SummerSlam happening in 3.5 weeks, that we get some solid matches. Now, if you watch the show, you could see where they're going with some of these matches. Rollins and his potential match with Reigns. We could get Rollins and Breakker versus Reigns and Punk. We could get Punk versus Gunther. We could get another match with Sheamus and Rusev, which I very much want to see. I think that'd be a great undercard match at SummerSlam. We could see Aleister Black versus Damian Priest. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa. I don't know where everybody else fits in. Rhea, Io, Asuka. I don't know where everybody else fits in. Alexa and Charlotte versus Roxanne and Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, there are some matches on the table, but WWE's got to get their shit together. This is why having so many shows and then building towards so many shows or all these matches taking place this week, nothing is left for SummerSlam. The SummerSlam build gets pushed back. They have to wait till after this week is over to start building for 3 weeks left till SummerSlam. SummerSlam should already have half the fucking card announced. 2 nights. What are we waiting for? Too many shows getting in the way. I thought Monday night was solid. It's probably one of the best Monday Night Raws we've got in several weeks. It was focused. It was direct. Rollins group looked strong. We got a name drop of Roman Reigns with a possible tease of his return coming this week. Goldberg showed up for one final push. And Rhode Island brought it. They were a great crowd. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. We're going to get into your super chats right now, actually. At 786 likes. 900 is the goal tonight. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. There's 2,100 of you in here tonight, man. We need just a little bit more than 100 likes to get to 900. So get them on in. Super chats are also still open. Get them on. It's a great way to support the show. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go check out last week's content if you missed it. Go get your t-shirts. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Off the Script and Tuesday Night Titans. Go get your TNT shirt. Throw it up on screen right there. Tuesday Night Titans. Best of the best of the best. Now available on bonfire.com. Tonight's show is sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com code JD at checkout. Blue Chew is a unique online service that provides the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it comes in a chewable tablet and a fraction of the cost. You guys can take them anytime, day or night. Plan ahead, be ready whenever that opportunity arises. You can be your own King Cody in the bedroom. Don't let terrible creative and bad booking ruin what could be a King of the Ring final for you. That's all I'm saying. Everything is done online. It's the best, man. All you got to do is sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their online medical providers, and once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. No questions asked. It's all done online. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. No awkward conversations. No waiting in the doctor's office. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Use that code JD at checkout. All you guys have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling, and you are on your way to a free sample courtesy of me and the podcast. BlueChew.com. I want to thank them for once again supporting the podcast right here on the Monday Night Raw post show on Off the Script. Let's get to these super chats. You guys missed the goal for Mario Kart, bro. You guys missed the goal for Mario Kart Monday. No Mario Kart Monday. I can't give you Mario Kart if you don't get the goal. I'm guessing you guys are not feeling Mario Kart the way that you used to feel Mario Kart. Okay. It is what it is. I get out of here a little bit earlier. Joey Taylor with a $2 super chat. JD, how are your Braves? 39 wins and 50 losses. 2021 feels so long ago. Joey, I'm going to have to kick you out. I gave up on the season 2 months ago, bro. The season's over. Good luck to whoever wins the East. Good luck to whoever has to face the Padres or the Dodgers in the NLCS. Mike Wilson with a new membership. Thank you, Mike. Lucas with a $9.99. I want to send my thoughts and prayers to the families of the victims of that terrible Kerr County floods in Texas, which sadly killed 104 people plus. Which is a terrible situation. Yeah, I heard about that, man. That was I don't know what happened there. I really don't. And the sad thing is people are politicizing that as well. Like, bro, families lost children, and you're making this about fucking Trump and the Republicans. I don't know, man. People are fucking weird. Lucas, thank you, brother. Boss Mo Jackson, the 499. I like how the Heyman guys all spoke tonight. It's a nice change. I hope the cash-in is unpredictable when it does happen. 2 thumbs up, brother. Thank you, Boss Mo Jackson. Michelle with the $2 super chat. I predict Braun turns on Seth at Survivor Series. I'm not looking towards Survivor Series. I'm looking towards SummerSlam. I don't think WWE even has a fucking clue as to where they want to go into Survivor Series. Boss Mo Jackson with the $2 super chat. Thoughts on WWE guys as Street Fighter characters? I don't really care as long as TV isn't affected too much. Michelle with a 2. If the faces go down like Sami, Roman is back Saturday. I can see Roman coming back Saturday. It's either Roman or Punk. And whoever it is on Saturday, the other will show up on Monday. Yeah, the goal, we only got 2 out of 10 goal. I'm very, very disappointed in you guys. You guys should know the deal. Every Monday, we have a goal as soon as the stream starts. You meet the goal, and we get 10 out of 10. We get Mario Kart Mondays after the stream is over. You guys got 2 out of 10. No sweat off my back. You don't want it, you don't want it. I don't have to play it. I get out of here early. But you guys ask me to bring it back, and then you don't want to see it. I don't have to play it. I play it for you guys. DC with a $13.99. Hey, JD, when I hear Corey Graves on commentary, it sounds like I'm listening to a wrestling commentator. When I hear Pat, it sounds like a fan. No disrespect to Pat. He's great, but I prefer Corey. So do I. The show feels fuller with Corey there. Things are explained. Storylines feel better. Corey, everything Corey says has a reason. And the banter between Michael Cole and Corey Graves was always great. Pat's only there because of his star power and the publicity he brings to the show. Nobody's watching Raw because Pat McAfee's there. I think everybody overhypes the importance of Pat McAfee on comedy. Nobody's watching the show because Pat McAfee's there. If anything, he's driving people from not watching the show because people don't like him. You're watching the show because you love WWE. You're watching the show for the pro wrestlers. You're not watching Monday Night Raw because Pat McAfee's there. I have no problem with Pat. I just prefer Corey Graves. Always have. Get a new money grift, my guy says. The better. I'm making more money than you fucking idiot. It's not a grift. What are you, my tax guy now? Are you telling me how much money I should make? You're telling me I should cut a certain amount I should cut off and not make money, right? Everything's a grift to these fucking feeble-minded, low IQ fucking retards. You're not a content creator. I am. I do what I have to do for the best of my business. Who the fuck are you to tell me how much money I could make and how much money I should make? Everything's a grift nowadays. Oh, JD's a grifter because he hates on AEW. Oh, JD's a grifter because he hates on WWE. Grift my fucking nuts. I know your mother did 2 weeks ago. Shut your fucking mouth. It's 1:30 in the morning and you're in my stream, not the other way around. Clearly you have no fucking life if you're in my stream, in my chat, saying what you said. Clearly you got no money to make tomorrow because you're in my stream on a Tuesday morning at 1:30. You should be in bed like a little baby getting ready for your fucking 9-to-5 job at Wendy's. I've been doing this for way too fucking long to have anybody tell me what the fuck I should and shouldn't be doing. The numbers speak for themselves. DC, thank you, brother. Havili, love you, brother. Shout out from Brisbane, Australia. Cornell Bryant with a $9.99. Listen to that pop. Goldberg is a draw. UIWC geeks. Opinions don't matter. Goldberg sucks. He will lose in 3 minutes and he will be gone forever. Goodbye. Michelle with a 2. Seth won tonight. Any chance he takes the L on Saturday? No. Lucas with a $4.99. Worst Raw of the year, in my opinion, outside of the main event. Absolutely, completely, 100% disagree. This was the worst Raw of the year? Lucas, I don't know what fucking show you watch, but it's not Wednesday. Tony Brown with a 5. JD, I sure would love to butter Roxanne's sexy buns. She's old enough. Roxanne is gorgeous, Tony. A man of fine taste. Lucas with a $4.99. Evolution looks like a fun show. Just wish the build was a lot better. Me too. The show is happening for all the wrong reasons. Hardy Punk. 5 months. Fuck The Rock. OTS for life. Come back much. Much respect to you, JD, for always serving us well and being the heart and soul of this beautiful family. Thank you, brother. Thank you, bro. Eric Newton. 35 months. Let's give a salute to Ozzy Osbourne for playing his last show. I was lucky to see him at Ozfest with Guar, Black Label Society, and Judas Priest. Kind of a hot take from me. I thought Ozzy Osbourne, for as long as he's been around, has been absolutely one of the most overrated musical artists of all time. I never found anything redeeming about Ozzy Osbourne. Nothing. I'm sure he's an innovator and a pioneer. Never a fan of his music or his vocal style. Him retiring did nothing for me this weekend. Nothing. And you're talking to a guy who is very music-centric. Nothing. Now, Judas Priest, on the other hand, I love Judas Priest. Captain Solo at a $5 super chat. Karrion Kross wins the Royal Rumble, or we riot. OTS for effing life. No, brother. Sami Zayn's winning the Royal Rumble. It's either Sami Zayn or CM Punk. Terry's Odyssey with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Terry. Sidro with a 2. What's an introvert's favorite cheese? Provolone. Speaking of favorite cheeses, bro, it's one of mine. Street Fighter with a $10 super chat. People will complain about WWE ticket prices, yet NXT tickets are Walmart great value prices. Because the brand is not in demand. That's why. Sidro with a 10. Didn't want to be a gynecologist when I first went to college, but I heard there were a lot of openings. And wife asked me to fix the toilet, and I failed twice. But hey, third time's a charm. It's a lot better, bro. Even though I'm a fan of Provolone, those two are a lot better. Sidro, $2 super chat. What do you call an irrational dinosaur? A pre-post-saurus. Hunter, I'm sorry, bro. You guys didn't meet the goal, man. I'm not going to give it to you. You got to earn it. According to I'm better, I shouldn't be grifting my fans for money. Havili with a $20 super chat. If and when Roman returns, will he help CM Punk or Jacob Fatu? He's going right after Rollins, brother. He's going right after Rollins. He's not getting into family business. It's over. He beat Solo for the Ulafala. There's no reason. Havili with a 10. Favorite PLE this year so far? Elimination Chamber. Absolutely the Elimination Chamber. Jorge Santori with a $4.99. JD, I'll be going to Puerto Rico in 2 weeks. My home island, OTS for life. Take me with you, brother. Take me with you. Point me to the nicest beach you got with the best visuals and a fucking pina colada. Several of them. Glow J with a 5. Love you, JD. Hope you had a great fourth. Bronson and Braun started to look like Chelsea's Secret Hervis. Yeah, WWE and AEW overkill. Too much at once. Way too much. Uncle Dave, thoughts on War Games? I love War Games. I just wish WWE would give it a rest. They manufacture feuds just for War Games instead of them naturally taking shape. Like, give me some Survivor Series elimination matches and hold War Games off. Like, this year we'll get a men's War Games match and a women's War Games match, and there's absolutely zero reason why you need to create some fake outrage between 10 women so that you can call it women's War Games. I hate that. I can't stand it. I'd give it a rest. Take a couple years off. It's starting to feel like a TLC or Hell in a Cell now. That Vince used to do it. I hate it. Big Haas with a 5. Hear me out. Rey Fenix and Andrade get moved to Raw. Penta needs help from Phoenix versus Seth. Andrade grows disgruntled and Paul recruits him. It could work. I don't know if we're getting a draft or a transfer window or trades or whatever. I don't know. We need some sort of shakeup. Theme parks and things with Johnny with 32 months. Hey, JD, was wondering if you can throw some prayers out to my grandpa. Just passed away a few hours ago, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day. OTS family, let's get some prayer emojis in the chat for my guy Johnny. Thoughts and prayers with you, brother. Sorry to hear that. Chris with a $4.99. Roman versus Rollins would be great. Roman has never beaten Rollins one-on-one, so they can play that story out with Roman. I agree. I agree. Dalton Meister with a $5 super chat. Damn, did anyone else hear those "We Want Cross" chants? I hope WWE finally heard them and do something worthwhile with them. Bro, Cross had 3 segments tonight. So clearly WWE is doing something with Cross. Or he has signed a new contract. By the way, can I just say this? How fucking sad it was for Fightful and Sean Ross Sapp to be crying like fucking bitches all weekend. All 4th of July weekend, crying on social media how the majority of the people did not believe them, saying Mercedes has no creative control. Literally, everyone. I don't know what it is with everybody glazing Tony Khan and defending AEW like it's a live or die situation. It's like the battle of the 2 armies on social media. Like I don't understand it. Why do we need Sean Ross Sapp to dress in full armor, wielding his AEW flag for Tony Khan? I don't really understand it. Like, how dumb do you have to be? Like, I understand some people just cannot admit that they're wrong. I get it, because I feel the same. I do the same fucking thing. But Jesus fucking Christ, her boyfriend has been a fucking loser since the day he got there. He hasn't won a fucking match. And the last 3 weeks, he's in the Death Riders. He's wrestling Adam Page in the main event. He's wrestling Swerve and Ospreay. She don't have creative control. Just look at her fucking boyfriend. Are you fucking stupid? Open your eyes. Did the Beast Mortos go to Tony Khan and all of a sudden he said, you know what? Yeah, you deserve a main event. No. Mercedes went to Tony, said, hey, Tony, can my guy be in the main event? Can my guy get these matches? Get a bigger spot on the show? Boom. Done. The woman has creative input. Creative input is creative control. Mercedes decides on who she wrestles. Mercedes decides basically everything that she has going on. If Mercedes doesn't want to show up one week, you know what? She's not going to show up. She's got her own personal writer. She brought Jennifer Pepperman into the company. Why? Because Tony just brought her in? No, she was a recommendation from Mercedes. And she's now Mercedes' personal. She's got her own personal rider. She got her own locker room. She does what she wants. She wrestles who she wants. Bro, if you don't think that woman has some sort of creative control over what she does, give me a fucking break. You kidding me? Jon Moxley has creative control. Jericho has creative control. Edge has creative control. Bro, at some point, you gotta sit down and fucking smell what's going on. Creative input is the same thing as creative control. If Mercedes gives input and Tony has absolutely no bearing on what happens and just okays what Mercedes does, it's creative control. She's controlling the narrative. You think Tony Khan is going to tell Mercedes no? Ultimately, he has the final say, but I haven't seen anything on television that even remotely smells like Tony's in control. He's not. She goes through her riders, she goes through her team, then it gets to Tony, and everything that she proposes usually ends up on TV. That's creative control. Now, if Mercedes had 3 or 4 losses out of the 30 matches she's wrestled, then I would be a little bit more on Sapp's side. But, I mean, the woman has How many wins? An entire division has been buried for this one match. She's got say over what she does. Give me a break. The Young Bucks have creative control. Yes. Yes. Weren't the Young Bucks supposed to drop the titles to the Outrunners? Wasn't that the rumor? What happened there? They opted to drop them. The Young Bucks decided against the Outrunners and decided to drop them to Private Party. I guess the Young Bucks don't have creative control, right? I guess that's completely Tony's decision, right? No, they said what they wanted. Tony gave it to them. Creative control. Dalton, thank you. Videos by HBP with the 2. Rollins' new group should be named RB&B. True Crime Unleashed with a 5. My friend paid $1,400 for front row tickets to tonight's Raw for him and his son. NEXY so much. He was told Netflix era. Bro, if you got the money, God bless you. I would not pay anywhere close to those prices to sit front row at a Monday Night Raw. Ricardo with a 5. OTS and Mario Kart Mondays. Let's get those super chats up so we can see JD rage against the cheat code clowns later tonight. The goal was not met, Ricardo. Apparently, I'm a grifter. Ali with a 5. JD, who's your favorite singer? Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin? Frank Sinatra. Havili, thank you for the 100. Love you, brother. See you tomorrow on TNT. Gold Standard with a 5. Great Raw crowd was pumped. Yes. Lucas with the 4.99. I retract my statement saying this was the worst Raw of the year. Good. Good man. Joey Taylor with a $13 super chat. JD, as much as I would like to see Bill Goldberg lose, that's not going to happen. Him and Mercedes have one thing in common: creative control. Goldberg is not beating Gunther, Joey. It's not happening. Mike 43 with 38 months. Why EO not wrestling? Is she injured? And Tyler Bate in catering. I don't know where Tyler Bate is. I'd like to see him back on television. I really would. Johnny Bishop with a 5. I usually don't give a damn about wrestling drama outside the show, but this Evolution thing is just pitiful. Card is fine, but done in a terrible way. I agree. The only reason why the show's happening is because of All in Texas. Sudoku with a 4.99. Fuck those guys, JD. You do a great show, and that's the bottom line. And Baby Hugh with the 4.99. What did Cinderella do when she got to the ball? Gagged. All right. Baby Huey, stay off the comedy stage, bro. Leave that one to the professionals. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys very much. Mercedes is 26-0 in AEW. Great. She'll be 27-0 in 5 days. Thank you guys very much for all of your support. McNeil 99 with a 199. You should do a goal for no hat stream. Never gonna happen. Thank you guys for a great stream. I appreciate you guys very much. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out last week's content. Everything you need is on the homepage. Go and check it out. Joey Taylor with a $10 super chat. JD, the Young Bucks did want the Outrunners to squash them for the tag team titles, but that idiot RJ City squashed that idea, pitched it, and it was approved to have Private Party win. Huh? Yes, because the Young Bucks are so willing to put everybody else over, right? Give me a break. Thank you guys very much, man. Listen, tomorrow night, Tuesday Night Titans, me and the Solid Monster go over all that you need. We are going to prepare you for the weekend ahead. That's all I got to say. Hit that thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for Tuesday Night Titans right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys then.